Join me today as I upgrade my rear screen to this, the Tlyard, I think that's how you say it, Tlyard, I'll leave a link below, 8.6 inch screen. And this is, I think, the biggest screen you can get in the back of any Tesla right now, including those that come from the factory in the Model 3s. They're 8 inches. This is 8.6 for goodness sake. Join me, I'll show you how to install it, what it can do, what you can connect to it, what you can't connect to it, and whether or not this is for you.
Okay, before we get into this, know that this is absolutely a non-destructive install method. Whatever you do here can be undone. So knowing that, using the prying tool, I worked my way around the edges of this, and I could have probably just pulled it directly sort of up and out diagonally. And when doing so, just be careful because there is a cable that powers the USB sockets on this vent piece. So just disconnect that and your first step is done. The next step is removing the lower cover, and this comes out quite easily, and again a little bit of force is required, but you'll get there. Now the next step I'm going to call optional, because if you're the sort of person who's comfortable pulling cables through, I would definitely not do it. But if, let's say, you're not very comfy doing it, then definitely do this. Undo the 2 screws that are sitting above the connector, and then starting at the bottom, pull the cover out towards you and slightly upwards, and it will eventually come out. Knowing there's at least 3, if not 4 contacts each side, so it's really hard to get this piece out. Unclip this blue harness and you're halfway there. I'm going to sound very dumb here, but there's not a lot of labeling going on as to what connects with what. And well, it turns out that realistically, you've either got a male or female connection, so this rather complicated looking harness is only inserted one way and you can't stuff it up. Starting off with the male end, insert this into the female end as seen here, then connect the female end into the other piece. For the Model Y, there's a deadhead plug, so just insert it and that's done. We're going to plug in that new harness cable. Okay, now for what I think is going to be the hardest piece, and this is controlling the passenger seat. And ideally, what you'd like to have is what I call spaghetti, and it's going to help you tunnel through the cable from the harness to the passenger seat wiring harness. I found it was easiest starting from the passenger side door and feeding through the yellow tongue underneath the rails where the carpet is joining, and you'll find there's actually some space there that will allow you to pass the yellow tongue through. Apologies if this angle doesn't help you, but know that nonetheless, you want to go for the connection that is closest towards the passenger door. Once you've connected it, ensure there's enough give in the cable so that when you move the seat forwards or backwards, so that it doesn't break the cord. Reversing the process that you had done before. So after the centerpiece was in, then you do the lower piece, and then you finally finish off by reconnecting the screen and firmly pushing it back on.
Ready? Yep. Okay, first impressions, it actually looks really good. Like, it's not even at full brightness now, it's at 75%, and it's perfectly bright enough on this sunny day. And a thing I really like also, well, there's 2 things. The icons at the bottom are actually lit up. So if you are a backseat passenger and it's dark and the screen's off, because if you don't use it, it will time out, you can just tap on those icons and it brings it back to life. So that's pretty good. That's a very good feature, seriously. I can't tell you how much, but rear passengers will appreciate it. Next thing is having independent control for the rear vents. So by removing the Tesla bit, that had just the 2 chargers and the vents, you've now got the vents back and they're actually controllable. So the left and right passenger can direct the air to them and it goes up and down. So that's good. USB wise, there's one slower charger that's designed really for data transfer, and I'll tell you why you want to do that later. And the other one is actually a 15-watt USB-C outlet, so you can charge a tablet through that, so that's pretty good as well. If you've installed previously any of these sort of screens, you know these icons really well. So on the left-hand side, you can turn the climate on and off, and if I want to really crank up the air in here, oh, it's good, it's good. Oh, it's a warm day in Melbourne, so I'm actually appreciating that. But let's turn that down because we can't be filming with that now, can we? No. Alright, and let's put that to 21 so it doesn't make too much noise. There we go. In fact, we'll move that down to 3. Awesome. So that's a really good feature. Love that. Next up is being able to independently control the seat heaters. Now, if you have a normal Tesla right now, a Model Y that is, the rear passengers have to ask the front persons, if there's one or two, to turn the seat heaters on and off for them. So that's awesome. So you just press tap, tap, tap. You can turn them all off at once, and that's great. Tick. Okay. Next one is you can actually move the passenger seat. Now I've already set this up to be what they call right rudder. That is to say, right hand steering wheel for the Australian market. And now I can actually move this seat out of my way so that if it's a bit too much and there's not enough space back here, there normally is by the way, but just in case there isn't, you can move that seat if the person's not sitting there. And well, if they're unsure how to move the right seat. Who knows why? I don't know why. Next one is music control. So if something's playing at the front here, the passengers back here can skip tracks, play, pause, and also turn up and down the volume. My kids have annoyed me many times doing that. There's a child lock, by the way, and you need a PIN code to unlock that. So if you really don't want the people back here dicking around with this whatsoever, put the child lock on. Just saying. Next over is the app bin. Now this is essentially an Android phone or tablet under the skin, right? I don't know what version of Android is running, but that's got a few benefits. First up, you can install any apps you want. If you know how to download an APK, and I'll leave a link below to how to search for it. It's very easy, by the way. You put it onto a USB stick, and it will, let me just show you actually. So plug it in, go through your file manager, you'll see the USB-C as a storage device, click on it, click on the APK file, it will ask you, do you want to install? You go, yep. It will update or install whatever you're doing here. So in this instance, I had to update the YouTube app, and that's it. So you could add Disney, you could add Netflix, you could add games. You get the idea, okay? You can connect to this, by the way, one Bluetooth controller, and you can connect one Bluetooth headset. That's it. I wish it was 2 USB headsets so that both passengers could be listening to stuff here instead of having the sound go through the speaker. But yeah, it is what it is. So on this screen, this is basically akin to a mobile phone. So you can choose on any of these apps, say YouTube, and as long as you've got your mobile hotspot turned on your mobile phone, so when you're driving about, people can be watching content back here. Or in this instance, I've actually got it connected to my home network. So awesome, I can actually watch some videos whilst driving around or being driven around. Yeah. Next icon over is a shortcut to the same apps but a bit larger displayed. It's more akin to what you see in the new Model 3s. And so same press of the YouTube button brings me back to the same app. Then finally over to the far side you've got settings. And in here, this is where you're going to choose left or right rudder settings to say whether or not the screen picture, the diagram for the seat controls is the correct orientation. Temperature is Celsius for Australia, 24-hour format if you like, and time zone setting. Coming across the top, you can go back home. There's an app switcher, so you can actually scroll through all the different apps, and as you can see, it's nice and fast. So that's good, isn't it? And then finally, there's like a full screen mode, and then you swipe down from the top to return to the icon sort of mode. Swiping down from the top again, you can go shortcuts to your Wi-Fi selection, Bluetooth, car settings, which is essentially the back end of Android. Think your system menu. So in here you can do your network, Bluetooth, audio, display brightness, car settings, and so forth. Now the sound quality on this, there is some speakers underneath and it's pretty loud. It's actually decently loud, so when the car's driving along, you can actually be pumping out volume from this unit, and the passengers back here will be able to hear it. The previous ones I've ever had, they never could do that, and so it's great that this can. And close screen actually turns off the screen, but again, you can see the icons at the bottom that are beautifully lit up. And what happens is there is a setting in here that when people are sat in the back, the screen will turn on. So when you come to this car and get into the first time and just say you're the driver, the screen will turn on temporarily. But if no one sits back here, it turns off, leaving just these lit up icons. So yeah, I said that twice, but just in case you didn't hear it before. No, you did. So to get it back on, just tap on the screen and there you go. And then finally, I don't want to play that, probably get a copyright strike. You can play either some built-in videos that have been downloaded to the unit. I think you can transfer them, but I haven't bothered. Or again, just plug in a USB stick. You can actually play your media or file from your USB stick to here. A few little notes. First up, yeah, Bluetooth. You can connect one headset to it and one game controller, and unfortunately that is it. Thinking, well, I've got 5 kids, right? Excuse me, I've got 4 kids. Oh my gosh, I've got more people in my family all of a sudden. I've got 4 kids, and typically my 2 youngest are back here for most trips these days. So they thankfully share the same taste in content, and they've enjoyed the rear screens I've had. But you know, only having one Bluetooth headset to be able to pair to it is a little bit frustrating. So ideally I'd like to see an improvement in that space where you could have 2 Bluetooth headsets connected to it. You can connect through your car to the unit, and doing so will mean the whole car is going to get the volume coming through there. I have found, however, there is a 1-second delay with this.
Model Y. This is the ventilated cooling seat cushion from Tlyard. Let's get these installed. Let's see how they fit. They're going to fit around. There's a couple of clips here on the back. This fits through the...
So yeah, it's a bit annoying. So I think using the speaker is a better option here. I would like to see the addition of a 3.5mm headphone jack. At least that way you could buy like a splitter, like a wide cable splitter. So 2 wide headsets could actually share the sound back here. So yeah, just some notes for Tlyard here. Tlyard, yeah. I think that's how he's going to say it. Pretty sure that's how you say it. The fit and finish is actually really good. It looks like it's actually been part of the car since day 0, like something that Tesla would actually ship out to you. And you know, it's a really big size, so I think the kids will really like that. I've had previous ones and they've been at least an inch smaller, and that does count. It really does count. So look, have me paid to send you this. The guys from Tlyard haven't had any editorial control, so I do have an affiliate link. If you purchase one or something from their shop, you will help this channel. So thank you, really appreciate it. But you don't need to buy this if you don't want to. You can look at their other stuff and grab yourself some awesome stuff there. So for up-to-date pricing and things, click on my link and you can see what you can save. All right. So hope you've enjoyed this content. If you have, you can either think about doing super thanks or Ko-fi for early access and behind the scenes, and otherwise you be good and you be green.